Hello, people of YouTube, and yes, Supergirl. Well, we saw our first trailer. At least if any of you haven't seen it, well, then you should probably check that out before you listen to what I have to say about it. If so, I'll just drop it in the description box, and you guys can go click on it, watch it, and then have your own thoughts before you listen to what I have to say about it. So, either way, the basic premise of this is, well, we're gonna try to write this without having Superman at all in here. If anything, he is just left to either the silhouettes of him, like the faces that aren't connected to anything, or just the idea that he's around, but he has better things to do. So, of course, this story is based around Kara, or Kara. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it. The only pronouncements that ever annoy me is when they say Ra's al Ghul instead of Raish, but that isn't here. Either way, and of course, Krypton has exploded 24 years ago. That's how all Kryptonians pretty much are dead now. And Kara was blasted off by her parents, just like Superman's parents did for him. She was blasted off to Earth, but for some reason, Clark is able to land before her, and he ages. So I guess he was on Earth, I don't know, like 20 years or so, 10, 20 years before she lands, and she is like the same age. So maybe she went through a wormhole that sent her to the future, or she got knocked off course, or she got put to sleep and never woke up or something. It can be any of those of why she is younger than Superman is, for all we know. And it's not like age is really a thing for Kryptonians anyway, considering they age slow as hell. So, besides that. So, let's see what else we got here. Firefly. Oh, that's right. Okay, so, and our first look at Kara, of course, in the trailer, is she is just a secretary who works at least I think it's a newspaper. It looks like a news thing. It's not the Daily Planet. At least I don't think it is. They didn't really show much of what she did, but she's just a secretary who works there, and her boss is a bitch, and la 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 la. And everyone can relate to having an asshole of a boss and everything, while Kara tries to go for herself. And she knows that she has powers, but she's never really fully explored them, which I don't see why she hasn't. Hopefully they get into that as the series goes on, because I guess they have this funny quote in the trailer where their sister is, I have a meeting in Geneva to go to, and then she goes, I have a blind date, and it's like, oh, ha 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 ha, okay, girl stuff. And then they go, like, oh, you always wanted to be normal. I'm not normal. I can lift trucks and fly, I think. It's like, okay, Kara from the Kara that I'm used to from the animated series, she would have already explored flying and all this stuff while she was still living with the Kents. But for all I know, this Kara might not have lived with the Kents, and Superman might not have been around, which I highly, highly doubt. But I guess that's what it's got to be. And then I guess she discovers that she can fly because her sister or friend or whatever they're gonna have. She calls her sister is in this plane that is gonna crash, and I don't know the city. I doubt it's Metropolis. If it was Metropolis, then it's like, oh, why isn't Superman there? Well, Superman's not gonna be here, so shut up. So, the plane is crashing. Kara's like, oh, I gotta save her, jump, and then she takes off, and she's able to fly, which is cool. And she saves the plane from crashing. Then her sister gets all butthurt because she's like, oh no, you exposed yourself. Now you can't take it back. And she's like, I don't want to take it back. And then they have this big fight. It looks like, which is quickly solved later on. And then we're introduced to two other characters. One is Jimmy Olsen. No, Jimmy is not your ginger, blue-eyed nerd, bumbler of a clumsy sidekick that Superman has usually had. Instead, Jimmy is, well, black, which is cool, I guess, because inserting Arrow has that security dude, and you got Flash has Joe. I love Joe. Joe's cool as hell. So I guess behind every hero is an awesome black guy who will be their mentor. In full strings for them with organizations. Because this Jimmy, he is far from that. He is a mentor and a half. He is probably known Superman forever, and from what it shows, Superman is literally, that's how they write Superman out. It's like they have Superman until Jimmy stuff, or James. He wants to be called James, not Jimmy. And then James will tell Supergirl stuff, and then he's like, "Here's your cape. It's part of Clark's blanket, and it won't shred." Like, okay, cool. But then the role of Jimmy Olsen, or at least the character the guy who would be basically Jimmy Olsen, is this white guy who I did not hear his name, if he had a name. But either way, he is there, and I guess he's like Peter Parker because he can make super stuff in his basement, like how he was talking about making a cape made of certain alloy that it won't get bullet holes in it. And I was like, okay. And Martha Kent didn't decide to make Kara her outfit, and Kara made it herself, I guess. Okay. So let's see. And then of course the white guy is hopelessly in love with her probably, and he gets to see her in sexy costumes, but then he is stuck in the friend zone. So now he has to get over that hump. But I doubt he's gonna do that. He's probably gonna sit there and suffer as Kara falls in love with these hot super villain dudes who fuck with her mind and all this stuff. So all that happens. And then okay, so what are the and then they have this funny quote where it's like Kara isn't needed, or at least the soldier dude's like, "We don't need you," and then she gets all sad, and then her sister comes back and she's like, "The world needs you to fly, and so do I." It's like, the world again, the quote isn't, it's like, okay, if Superman didn't exist, maybe, but it's like, okay, fine, another super person wouldn't be too bad to have. But they always humanize Superman and them by like breaking their confidence, because it's like they've always run away from their powers and they've never truly accepted it because they've always wanted to be human. And I guess that's the way they're gonna go with Kara here, because that's what she says. She's like, "I've always run from who I am, and now I'm finally going to accept it." It's like, if I could fly around, lift trucks, and save people, I've watched my cousin do that this entire time, I think I would try to emulate him because he is like a badass. It's like, whatever. Okay. And then of course you got the whole, then you're gonna have to deal with the whole girly girl stuff that goes on in there, dates, other girl stuff. I think they've pretty much made it a point that this is not for guys, kind of. I mean, there's super stuff and all this. It's more geared towards women, but then, because most of the guys who probably watch are going to be sitting there hating on her the whole time. He's like, her hair's not blonde enough, why is she so bubbly? Well, I kind of like Kara, who has bouncy attitude and all this stuff. It doesn't really make any sense if she's all, well, I guess the reason why that you can't have two Jimmys is because then you can't have two klutzes bouncing around, because nothing will get done. They'll just fall down on everything. And then, of course, the whole thing where it's like, she doesn't wear a mask. Well, what does Kara do that Clark doesn't do? Well, Clark combs his hair. Well, Kara will pull her hair into a ponytail. And when she's around friends who know she's Supergirl, she'll take it out of the ponytail. I didn't say disguising your secret identity was hard in DC, but obviously it takes just a little bit of a hair tussle and you have a secret identity. At least. So, yeah. At least that's what I got out of the trailer. We got the whole point that Jimmy Olsen is not really Jimmy Olsen, he's James Olsen, her mentor, who will probably guide her through her superhero journey, instead of Superman sending her messages and talking to her. Now it's just going to be Jimmy talking for Superman about stuff. And yeah, I wonder if anybody's gonna have like a Superman summoning watch, like Jimmy used to have in the animated series, where you'd hit it and then Superman would go, "Oh, Jimmy needs me," and you'd go help him. Be smart. And that super smart white guy can probably make it for Kara, but then he can always just fake her out and keep using it to have her alter herself. So either way, that is Supergirl the series. Listen, I'm kind of cringing at this moment thinking about it, but hopefully, because I know I'm still gonna watch it. I mean, it could surprise me and still be really good, because the superpower parts were cool. I already knew that was gonna be a given. It's just gonna have to get around the whole part of, oh yeah, Clark never showed you how to use your powers or even talk to you about it, or why are you afraid of using your powers? What, did you accidentally hurt someone when you were a child or something? Or whatever, you're running from your true self. So either way, she has to go up, and away, like James said. Either way, Kara, we'll see what she does in the series, and we'll hopefully get a better glance at her. So, that's all for today, folks. We'll see you guys next time.